Hey there friends, welcome back to Mindful Art Space. Today I'm working with tempera paint sticks in different shades of blue, drawn loosely across a grid of artist tape. Once the color fills each square, I'll use a black acrylic marker to add uneven, imperfect lines in arrays that move freely without pattern or control. This session today is about humility, surrender, and honesty, about realizing that sometimes I am my own worst enemy. We'll explore how negative self-talk and fear quietly create patterns of self-sabotage, and how learning to trust, release, and allow can restore balance to the mind, body, and spirit. If you're painting along, take your time. My video is sped up, but your art doesn't need to be. Every line is an act of permission to let go and to simply be present. So take a moment to settle in, breathe slowly in through your nose, and exhale through your mouth. Notice the smoothness of the paper beneath your hand, the softness of the blue pigment spreading across the page. Let your movement follow what feels natural, not what feels correct. Each mark is a small act of trust, a quiet declaration that you no longer need to control the outcome. The goal here isn't a perfect piece. It's a peaceful moment. Let this painting become a memory anchor, a gentle reminder that you can return to calm anytime you choose. For much of my life, I've battled a quiet pattern of self-sabotage. Whenever something good started to happen, my mind would find reasons to pull back, to delay, to doubt, to question if I deserved it. It often looked like perfectionism, but underneath it was fear. Fear of failure, fear of visibility, fear of not being enough. I thought I was protecting myself from my own disappointment, but really I was protecting myself from growth. Art taught me that the more I tried to control every detail, the less life my work had. But when I finally surrendered, when I allowed the lines to bend, wander, and overlap, something beautiful emerged. That lesson carried into everything else. Control might feel safe, but trust is what sets us free. Let's talk about what happens when we fall into the cycle of self-sabotage, not as a judgment, but as awareness. Mentally, self-sabotage begins as thought, a quiet loop of, I can't, I shouldn't, or I'll fail anyway. These thoughts become mental habits, and habits become energy. The more we repeat them, the more the brain searches for evidence to make them true. We start to anticipate disappointment, even when joy is possible. And that anticipation keeps us trapped. The body listens to every thought. When we criticize ourselves, the nervous system tenses, the shoulders lift, the jaw tightens, breathing becomes shallow. It's the body's way of bracing for an attack, even when the attack comes from within. Over time, that inner conflict drains energy, creating fatigue and heaviness that no amount of sleep seems to fix. On a soul level, self-sabotage disconnects us from the divine flow, from Source, God, the universe, however you name it. When we doubt our worth, we block the current of creation itself. According to the law of attraction, energy responds to vibration, not words. If your energy whispers, I'm not enough, the universe mirrors that vibration, not to punish you, but to show you where healing is needed. That reflection is grace in disguise. It's the invitation to come home to yourself. As I continue filling the grid with these uneven black lines, I notice how natural imperfection feels now. There's rhythm, movement, flow. It reminds me that healing doesn't happen through control. It happens through connection. Every line teaches patience. Every pause teaches trust. There was a time I thought healing meant fixing what was broken. Now I understand healing means realigning with truth. And the truth is, I was never broken, only disconnected. Self-sabotage begins to dissolve when we meet it with compassion instead of shame. When we see it not as failure, but as a protective pattern that no longer serves us. When we forgive ourselves for every moment we hesitated, we create space for new energy to flow in, for clarity, peace, and even manifestation. Because the same energy once used for fear can be redirected toward creation. When you begin to trust the process of your heart, you begin to trust the process of your life. Every mark becomes a prayer, every color a vibration of renewal. There's humility in realizing we are both the obstacle and the way forward, but that realization is freedom. You have the power to change your frequency with awareness, with kindness, with breath. You don't have to rush, strive, or prove. You only have to return to yourself. Look at your piece for a moment. Notice the places where the lines crossed unexpectedly, where the blue deepened or faded without your control. That's life itself. Imperfect, unpredictable, yet always forming a whole. When you create from that acceptance, you step into alignment with your higher self, the part of you that trusts, allows, and receives. That's where manifestation begins, in the space where resistance ends. Thank you for painting with me today. Thank you for giving yourself this quiet space to breathe, to reflect, and to remember your own strength. As you finish your piece, know that every imperfect line is a step toward healing, a sign that you're learning to trust life again. If this message resonated, share your reflections below. I'd love to hear your story. So until next time, let's keep creating art that heals. And if no one's told you today, I love you, and I'm so happy you're here. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.